Welcome to another edition of the Coach's Corner, where we get to know our Morehead State head coaches, assistant coaches, and staff. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by men's basketball assistant coach Jonathan Mattox. Thank you for being here and being on the program.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about your career a little bit. Going back, tell me a little bit about your playing career and then how you arrived at Morehead State and how you've enjoyed your time here at Morehead State.
Yeah, well, I started my playing career playing Division II at Anderson University in South Carolina. Ended up transferring a little closer to home, Emmanuel College in Georgia. My senior year at Emmanuel, we actually won our conference championship, made it to the NAIA national tournament, and just had a great year. I then stayed on staff at Emmanuel for 2 years and just kind of cut my teeth in the coaching profession. And then, got the itch to move up levels, so wanted to get to the Division I level, and just reached out to a lot of people. And one of the people I connected with was B.J. Ellis, who at the time was an assistant under Sean Woods on the previous staff. And he and I connected, and I ended up getting on as a graduate assistant. So I was a graduate assistant for 2 years, director of ops for 2 years, and or for about 1.5 years, and then got bumped up from there. So fortunate enough to be an assistant, ever since. So when Preston got the job, he hired me full-time, which was a blessing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that he's given me.
Talk a little bit about and for younger coaches, when you're getting into the business and you've been able to move up, and talk about the patience needed and the skills that you learn in different positions as you move up. And like you said, you're fortunate enough that you've been able to stay here and be now full-time.
Yeah, I tell younger coaches all the time, don't worry about your job title per se or your position. Worry about who you're becoming. Try to become the best coach you can become. Try to become the most well-rounded coach you can become, from a recruiting standpoint, from a on-the-floor X and O standpoint, even from an administrative standpoint. There's some things, like at a lower level, you may have to be in charge of the budget or be in charge of travel or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of logistical things that maybe younger coaches getting into the profession aren't aware of. But at the end of the day, when they become a head coach and they're the quote-unquote CEO of a program and they're over it all, they're going to be thankful for those lessons that they learned early on in the profession.
Now, I know that you've been, one of your specialties, I guess it's kind of coaching and teaching the big men, the centers and the forwards. Talk about that and what's different than maybe teaching. Obviously, basketball is a lot of the same things, but the specialty in teaching big men how to grow and learn the game. Yeah,
bigs are unique. A lot of them were late bloomers or late developers, and I just enjoy. A lot of it is about positioning and technique and fundamentals and repetition. We want to get deep post touches, so we talk about our post up technique and being low and wide and framing up big and wide up top. And we kind of go from there. Just try to keep it simple with them. Give them a go-to move, give them a counter move, maybe give them a counter to a counter. But I tell you what, a lot about playing down there is your mentality. You got to have a tough, physical, aggressive mentality to be able to survive in that paint. And probably enjoy instilling that in them more than anything.
You've coached a lot of good big men here at Morehead State. One currently is Taijon Claude, and he seems to have a lot of upside. Talk about coaching him.
Yeah, Taijon, first of all, he's a great kid, great young man, great heart. Second of all, he's probably in the gym more than anyone on our team. He puts in the time, he puts in the work. He's very teachable and very coachable, and he wants to be a great player. And he had a really good freshman year, and he wants to improve on that and do even better as a sophomore and beyond. But the things that stick out about him, he has great size, he has great athleticism, he has a really big and strong lower body, which helps him in his post positioning. But he's just a tough-minded kid. He's relentless on the glass. He does a great job working for positioning and posting up, and he's expanded his game to where he can hit a little turnaround jumper or 12 to 15-foot jump shot. And a lot of that's come just through the work that he's put in. But he's going to be a great player because he wants to be a great player, and he listens to our entire staff, really.
You've got L.J. Bryan and also a new guy, Janai Broom, down there. So what are some things that What are some differences for you coaching, say, a guy who's maybe a junior college or maybe a Division I transfer, say like a Taijon or a Janai that's a freshman? Are there different things that you have to remember when teaching someone who's already been in college for a couple of years, even on the JUCO level, as opposed to a freshman?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they're all case-by-case scenarios, you know. A lot of times when you have a junior college player, he's going to be more mature physically, but he may not have come from as structured of environment, right? When you're coaching freshmen, they may be more, maybe more skilled, but they may not be physically ready. So everyone needs something different, like LJ, Ty, Janai, they're all different players. They're all unique in their own right, and they all need a little bit different coaching or teaching or points of emphasis. But usually the older player is going to be more physically ready, but a lot of times at this level, it's more mental than physical.
One of the kind of hashtags or key words for Morehead State men's basketball is family. So tell me a little bit about your family here.
Yeah, so my wife, my lovely wife Katie is with me, and we've been married for over 6 years now. Have a baby boy, John. Well, he's not a baby anymore. He's 23 months, going on 2 years. So he's my mother calls him the head coach of the house. So he's the head coach. He runs the show, and
he can dunk and layups and everything already.
He can do it all. So no, I'm glad to have them with me. I couldn't ask for a better family. They're very supportive, and you know, got to spend a lot of time with them this weekend. So it was really good.
You're from the Georgia area. Let's talk about. It could be somebody from that area or someone in the pros. When you were younger, is there a professional, you know, sports figure or a college sports figure that maybe you looked up to and wanted to emulate and took some lessons from?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. When I was younger, it was all about Michael Jordan. So seeing The Last Dance this summer was really refreshing because, you know, now everybody argues Mike or LeBron, and I'm able to tell these guys, I grew up watching Mike. So his first championship run in the early 90s, I don't remember as much, but that second championship run, I mean, I remember watching games with my dad and just wanting to be like Mike, and going back and watching The Last Dance and really diving deep inside the mind of probably the most competitive human to ever live. You know, brought back great memories, and heck, I even learned a lot just watching that documentary this summer. So yeah, for me, it was Michael Jordan growing up.
All right, appreciate it so much, sharing your story and your rise up through the Morehead State coaching ranks, and obviously good luck this season. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, Matt. Thanks for having me again.
That's Jonathan Mattox, assistant men's basketball coach here on this edition of the Coach's Corner. Tune in next time as we talk to more Morehead State coaches and get to know their unique stories. I'm Matt Schabert. For Jonathan Mattox, see you next time. Remember to always wear your masks.